Okay, so we're continuing our conversation with Chris, and we have the man Carlos join us. Carlos, why don't you just introduce yourself for the people out there who may or may not know who you are?
My name is Carlitos Miranda. I work with Chris Perez, the main man from San Antonio, Texas. Me and Chris go way back, childhood friends, you know. We both started in, I knew that Chris was kind of like the guitar player of San Antonio. We became really good friends and stuff like that. And, I saw Chris launch himself up into Selena Los Dinos, and then the rest is history. Yeah. But me and Chris go way back. We're childhood friends from back in the day.
Welcome into this interview, because I do want to kind of tap into your insight as well. Chris is a humble guy, so sometimes, even though tonight he's been giving it us all, but you're doing good, man. You're doing good. I'm really happy, Chris, for all that you're doing for us and the fans out there who are going to watch this interview. But let's talk a little bit before we kind of move on. Tonight we were listening to your music from the Chris Perez Project. Great songs, man. And I know there's kind of been a few kind of transitions that's been going on with the band, but you were telling me off camera that the Chris Perez Project is still alive and well. So talk a little bit about what you kind of foresee for the future of the Chris Perez Project.
Well, I mean, it's changing all the time, just like the industry. It's if I'm going to do a recording or a song or a record, I'm going to go in 100%. And the thing about it now is there's so many other projects on the table. It's not that the band is in limbo or on hiatus, because it's still there. It's just that there's these other things that have been popping up, the real life stuff, And you know what, I will say this, though. I'm happiest right now as far as what my band is and who's in it. And it took me a long time to... Being a musician and an artist, it's hard for you to be a boss, right? But there comes a time when you start to realize that, being a boss to me, it was always a bad connotation. I never wanted to be that guy. But you can be a leader, and you can be somebody who inspires people. And so when you're working with people that are inspired by what you're doing, it's a different situation, as opposed to just having people that playing with you. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of in that chapter. The Chris Perez Project is in that chapter of its life, where like I'm pleasantly surprised working with friends of mine that I've known for years that have grown themselves. Like we all have to grow. I mean, we've all played together in the past, but we're in different situations, different points in our lives, and now it's kind of like, okay, like what I was mentioning earlier about the Selena Los Dinos things, where we're all working towards a common goal. Musically, we're doing that, so it's kind of a refresh, kind of like a new start thing for me. Songwriting, we're doing that. But there's also all these other things that are going on, like the TV shows that they want me to, believe it or not, act in. I don't know how that's going to go, because it's something new to me. I'm not afraid of new challenges, but it's a new thing. We'll see how that goes. Also, what else is it? They want to turn the book that I did, they want to turn that into some kind of mini-series or a movie or something. I don't know. Like I said, was telling you earlier on the download, Carlos is the guy that he best represents me out there as far as going out and hanging out and meeting people, because I'm not that guy. To be blunt, I don't I don't know how to take it. You know what I mean? At the beginning stages of meeting somebody, they have a deal or they want to talk to you about certain things, and so Carlos goes and he loves that stuff. He loves being out there at the parties and going to the Playboy mansions and all this.
No, not Carlos.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Exactly. So he's the guy that's out there doing it. And I really, no bullshit, I'd rather be at home. I'd rather be at home working on music or playing my guitar, or even better than all that, hanging with my kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's me in the pool, all that stuff. And then he'll come back and he'll tell me, and we'll come up with a plan. And we did have there was a stretch where he was going out there a lot, and everybody's telling him everything he wants to hear, and he'd come back to me and be like, dude, don't take everything. And it's like a learning lesson. Don't take everything at face value when they tell you certain things. And at first he was like, no, dude, whatever. And now he understands because he had to go through it himself. It's one thing to want to be at that level, and it's a whole other thing to have to deal with shit at that level.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. He's made so many connections with people, and it's been helpful to me as a musician, working with different people. I mean, shoot, even the Emilio Estefan deal that came through, you know, where he wanted to work with me, sign me to a production deal, and we went down that road. And again, it was he's very radio, amazing guy, you know, he's got all the connections, but again, it's like, where am I at in my musical career? And I'm just, we worked together very well, but the songs just kind of didn't make me comfortable. They were too pop.
You're talking about the work that you had done with, yeah,
the Emilio Estefan stuff, and it was, the dude is amazing. I mean, he's got some songwriters that are under his umbrella that I've always wanted to work with. You know, we're exploring all those categories, and the thing is, the way that I handle things is everything is wide open. We don't close ourselves off to anybody. So he's one of the guys we work with, and Carlos is talking to some other people right now about that TV show deal, which oddly enough, it was to me very Spinal Tap, because it's a TV show that they wanted me to be in, like star in, which I didn't feel comfortable. And I told them, I was like, I'd rather be the guitar player in the band than the lead singer.
Yeah.
Because the stories they were telling, like these writings that they had, they were laughing as they were telling them, you know, and I'm sitting there going, that's not funny. You know, like, I live that life. I know people that really do that for a living. And so it's right now the project is, and now that I mentioned that, now they're willing to change it and make it more of a real life situation, not necessarily a sitcom. And so we're in the process of that. I mean, there's just so many things going on right now. There's that, musically speaking, I mean, it's a phone call away. It's just, I'm scared to make that step, because once I do, I have to commit. And once I commit, then I have to do something with that project. And like I mentioned earlier, what's going to happen with that if I put it out there and it's just not going to have the impact to the fans that I want it to have, you know?
Do you think a lot of that is just because just the way that the record industry has changed in the past decade or two?
Definitely. I mean, it's
because of the internet and the way that they're, you know, working with, you know, artists and promoting artists now, you know.
Yeah, I don't even see how somebody like me would be in that. You know what I mean? It's like, because back in the day where I come from, I mean, you're there, they're pushing you to be on the radio, they're pushing you to. Pop radio is so different nowadays. You have Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber. There's a few that slip through the cracks that I love. Like, there's a band called 21 Pilots. There's also Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens. I mean, there's these cool rock bands. But we don't live in a rock market, I guess. Like, when I was growing up. When we were growing up, what do we have on radio? We had the Bon Jovis, the Motley Crues. Even the AC/DCs were still on radio. And that's what I grew up on. Now times are different. I have no idea. I'm more of the adult contemporary, I guess. And thank God, I mean, it's more about the songs, which is what I love now. So I'm trying to find my way, navigate through all that stuff, and it's a bunch of craziness, you know. But it's like Selena used to say, man, there's room for everybody out there. Just find it, you know. And for me, again, it's about, I still feel like I'm trying to find my voice. You know, regardless, I put a record out, okay, it did really well, we won a Grammy, and et cetera, but I had a conversation with a producer, a known producer, and he's telling me you're never gonna have your sound until you at least have 3, 4, 5, 6 records. Then you develop, then that sound that you've created becomes your sound. You know, and it made a lot of sense to me, but I mean, here I am, 3 records in, and it's still, it's nerve-wracking, bro. Yeah. It's nerve-wracking to be in the scene and have to get it done, and for lack of a better word, compete.
Yeah. Well, you know, as far as, you know, the recording, I completely understand what you're saying. But, I mean, performance-wise, you're still out there playing shows. I know that you kind of keeping yourself busy. You were in California not too long ago. And Carlos, you shared earlier with me off camera that you've been getting on stage with Chris and you're doing things with him live. What's that experience kind of been like now? Because I know that you've had some past experience, too, kind of performing and things like that.
Yeah, I come. My dad was a famous, legendary singer of the old school days, of the Little Joes and the Rueto Pulidos, you know, and stuff like that. Ren Ramos, you know, Gato Negro and stuff. Yeah, so my dad came from that. Of course, we come from 2 different styles of music, you know. So I've always been a singer all my life and stuff, and made a good thing out of it. I happened to tour with Selena when Chris joined the Dinos. I was kind of like left behind, not in so many ways like that, but I ended up being approached by the Quintanilla family, and they wanted to manage me. And I was actually the first singer and group to be performing with Selena Los Dinos, from Ven Conmigo all the way through Entra Mi Mundo to Amor Prohibido to the live album. I happened to be that which won the Grammy. I happened to open up that live performance in that live album, so that's like the most memorable thing for me, you know. And I got a chance to I call these things the universities. They was kind of like my college. Like, I got to see and be around people like Chris, and watch a performer like Selena, be around a producer like Ricky Vela and A.B. Quintanilla, and see these guys grow, and Pira Cedillo, the lyricist, and stuff like that, and a manager like Abraham Quintanilla. So I learned a lot from those guys, you know. So it was my university, you know, and of course we all went on and did our own thing, and we're all childhood friends, and we all came kind of back into San Antonio and did what we did, and Chris had asked me to help him out one of these days on just going with him on the road, you know, with the whole book signing thing. And it kind of, everything happens organically. Nothing was premeditated of saying, hey, I want to sing with you, or hey, I want to work with you, or anything like that. It just kind of just like, it just fell in its own place where it just gelled.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I got this. Do you want to do these gigs? Well, I can do them. I'm like, can you? Okay, well, let's do it, you know.
Come on. Let's do it. Come on.
But what's cool about it is that I don't have to, the singers are a tricky bunch, you know, and I understand why. I get it. But I don't have to deal with that with him because he's known me since we were kids. So it's like, what I feel with him is something I don't feel with the other singers that I've worked with. It's like, let me help you be the best dude you can be. Not let me be me and try to get some shine and try to, you know, because a lot of singers that I've worked with have had that attitude. And so for me not to have to worry about that, and then him to know where I'm coming from, it's easy, you know, for me. And it keeps me wanting to go, keep moving forward.
I think before I do close out, you know, there's been a lot of publicity about the book, you know, and you know, you did a lot of pub in support of the book. You toured and did book signings. The book was well received. You know, it was well received, and I think one of the things that I kind of found interesting was that you know we've talked about AB Senior a little bit in this interview. And, kind of like we all have kind of had that resounding father figure in our lives that, you get a text from him or a phone call from him. He has his own special ringtone. Yeah. You're like, holy crap, what's wrong or what's going down?
Everybody shut up. The phone's ringing. It's Abraham. And the room instantly goes silent.
Yeah, dude.
Like anybody else, it's like, oh, well, whatever. Yeah. As soon as you say that, the room goes quiet.
Crap. But, and I don't want to use the word, the antagonist, but yet, people like him are very important, especially in the music business, to keep things focused. And you got to have like the good guy and the good cop and the bad cop, and that type of person, has to keep the machine running and kind of can be objective and do the greater good. But with that being said, and I know you have tremendous respect and love for him and the family still, but yet when you released the book, you just kind of did it on your own. You didn't kind of really seek approval from anybody, from the family to kind of move forward with that. What was going through your mind at that time? Did you just say, hey, I don't want, did you kind of, I don't want it to be influenced at all by anybody but me?
Right, exactly. That's what it was. I mean, just like when I do my music. If it's a project that I come up with that I'm gonna do that's Chris Perez, that's what it is. I can't sit here as much as I would, as much as I respect the family and everything and the legacy and the memory. If it's a project that I'm working on and I believe in it, then I know best how to do it. And I want to do it on my own. As a matter of fact, I don't want to say anything because I don't want any interference.
Right.
So that's kind of how the book happened, and they didn't know about it until it was done, believe it or not. Yeah. And once it was done, that's when I said, look, this is what I'm doing. And I felt 100% okay with that. Because, even back in the day, when Selena just passed away, that was early 95. I'd say by late 95, her dad came to my house and said, I'm going to write a book. I said, okay, cool, Abraham, that's great. Well, I'm going to have to say what I thought about everything when y'all were seeing each other at first, and it's not going to be all good. I said, hey, dude, it's your book. Say what you want. You know what I mean? Because it's true, right? Just tell your truth. If you're going to do it, I'm nobody to judge anybody from anything, man. Trust me when I tell you that. So, if I'm going to have that attitude, then I expect to have that back from you. Right. It's a respect thing. Right. And it's cool. There was nothing bad ever said from them in the press or anything about the book. Right. Having said that, I did my best to do it in a respectable way. It wasn't a tell-all kind of thing. And it was more like I wanted to tell my side of things, and I wanted people to see what kind of person that she was away from the cameras. Right. And not even get into all that stuff.
Not the celebrity, but just the person.
Right. And I think it was really good, man. Going by what the fans have, the way they received it, I couldn't have asked for a better reception from them.
And what about for you? What did the book do for you? Did it, I don't even want to say, did it provide closure for you? It's been a while now. How many years have we been talking about? 20 years now since Selena's passing, and I would be remiss not to ask you, even after all this time, if you're still, because I know you've been remarried and you have children now, but still, we're continuing. If you're still kind of trying to find closure to a certain extent.
Just like anybody else, life, it's a journey, right? Constant journey. Yeah, I did marry. I got divorced. I've got my kids. The one constant has been my music. That's the one constant thing. My guitar has been with me through it all. And it's been a saving grace for me, and I can be grateful to Selena for that, because that was my stepping stone. That's my touch point. No matter what goes on, you know what I mean? I can always go back and basically ask, you know, is this the thing to do? Is this right? You know, and I can hear her tell me these things a lot of the times, or agree with me or not agree with me. And it's up to me to react accordingly, right? So, as a 46-year-old man, I feel I've done okay, and I still have a lot to do. My journey is my journey, just like I don't judge anybody. I ask not to be judged. And just if you enjoy the music that I work on, I'm very happy for that. I appreciate it. And just know that is, other than my kids, that's who I am. That's what I do. You know, I'm a dad first. Everything else falls into place after that. So, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been supportive, who gets it. And you know what? There's a lot of people who get it. Thank God for the internet, and I get to have my voice and say what it is, because if it was anything like the past, like go back 15 years and it was just based on press and TV and newspapers and stuff like that, and anybody could put their spin on it, I probably wouldn't be doing this anymore. It disappeared a long time ago.
And you know, as we get out, and you talk about, you know, the relationship that you've kind of built with your fans, and you know, you have tons of fans, man. I mean, there's a lot of people who love you out there, you know. And I've, you know, in the past weeks leading up to this interview, I've heard from many of them personally, and I've heard some really, you know, amazing things. And you know, so I'm really happy that you have that relationship with them. I love to see your posts about, you know, that you post a lot about your kids and about what you're doing. You're working in the studio and you're traveling. So all of you people out there, continue to follow Chris, man. Any last words as we end out, guys? I mean, I've had an outstanding time with you. I think we're going to continue on here and continue to have our off-camera conversations, because they've been great too. Carlos, any last words? Anything you want to share about working with Chris, or what you kind of foresee or want to see happen for your relations with the Chris Perez Project and things like that?
Just that the best is yet to come. We have a lot of projects that are on the table right now that we're very fortunate to be working on, musically and not musically. Part of it, we do have a production company called Blue Mariachi Productions, where we're doing stuff on TV. We're signing, going further with more of that of production. Also, we've had the honor to be creative, musically control over TV shows that we're going to be working on with our stuff, and also with other projects that we do have a lot of stuff. So there's tons of projects that are coming up that, of course, takes time and everything. And then also up and coming concerts that we have coming up. We're doing the State Fair of Texas in Dallas that we're going to be doing, which is at the Cotton Bowl up in Dallas, Texas, which happens in October. So we have a lot of up-and-coming shows that we'll be doing more. Yeah. I just started. Are you just?
Well, we got that one. Wow. Okay.
We're going.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Chris is gonna hook us up with some backstage.
Yeah,
Sure, dude, for sure.
Bring the cameras.
Okay. I'll bring the wine.
Yeah, bring it on. So
I'll bring the glass.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Awesome.
But not only that, man. I mean, just keep watching Rob's MetalWorks, man. Woo! You know, I'm a fan. I've been a fan of Rob's MetalWorks for a long time, man. So you guys keep watching it, because it's the best. And the one that knows how metal works. That's how I like to say about it, man.
There you go. You know, man, I can't really express, you know, I'll be thinking about this all day tomorrow, but you know, when we do special things like this with special people, and you know, the vibe starts kicking, and we realize, and we come to a point where, you know, we think, you know, we are mortals. You know, we were going to be here for a while, and let's relish in life, because especially this year, we saw a lot of people pass away in the music industry. Crazy, right? We're not even 6 months in.
It's crazy, man. I mean, it just. I mean, today, Meatloaf passed on the stage.
Yeah.
You know, he passed out on stage.
Oh, he passed out.
Yeah, no, he didn't die, but there's just so much going on. I mean, we had Emilio Novaita pass away this year. I mean, there's just so many. David Bowie. I mean, the list from it, Glenn Frey, everybody from that. I mean, yeah, it's great for Motorhead. I mean, it's just we're the next in line, as Dio says.
We're gonna jam some Dio right now in a little bit. Okay.
Can we go to video?
But you know, guys, you know, this has been a special evening for me, and we've got it all on tape, and I can't wait to share it with all the people out there, because this interview will live on forever, and we are immortalizing this night in a very special way. It's been my honor and privilege.
Dude, when Chris called me and he goes, "Yeah, man, we're gonna do an interview on this date and everything," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, we do." And he goes, "Rob's, you heard of Rob's Metalwork?" I'm like, "What? Rob's Metalworks?" I used to watch that show, dude. Like, I'm like, "What? When is this happening?" I was like, "Wow, this is awesome." It's so funny because I'll tell him what interviews we're doing, and he's like, "Do we really have to do them, man?" Like, I'm like, "Well, yeah." But he was like, "This."
Now he's telling
yeah, and I'm like, "What?"
Hell yeah, I'm there. You know?
That's awesome, man.
It's like
no,
Oprah wants to do it. Oprah wants to do it.
Yeah.
Like, where are they now?
Yeah,
Oprah.
completely. I'm like, Rob's Metalworks, we're there,
True
dude.
story,
Like,
dude. True story.
The metal Oprah, baby.
yeah, man. I mean, we got a call from Oprah Winfrey, and even then, you know what I'm saying? He's like, "Nah, we don't need to do that." I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
Wow.
Yeah, man. So it's an honor. Thank you for having us out here, man.
I'm gonna remember this night forever.
Dude, not only
Thank
that,
you,
man,
Chris.
thank you for the cap, bro. Like, this is history right here.
Oh God, yeah. You better post about that tomorrow or something. Okay. Everyone out there, I just don't even know how to end out. I don't want to end out. We've been talking forever, and it's just been such a pleasure and an honor to have you guys here. I'm so happy right now. And we've been going on at it now for hours and hours. So let's continue with our good night. Everyone out there, all you got to do, all you people who follow Chris Perez, continue to do so on social media. Great things coming up in 2016 and beyond. You saw the man right here only on Rob's Metalworks.